POOH Shiesty's dad just got released on a federal. POOH Shiesty's dad just got released on a federal bond in the Gucci Mane kidnapping case. And am I surprised? No, because we all know, and if you haven't, you're about to find out, that POOH Shiesty's dad is a federal informant, a full-on cooperator, and he's been so since 2007. United States.
Every time I'm right, sometimes I just hate this shit, bro. Sometimes I hate it, but I'm always right, man. Always, man. I told y'all, I said, watch them Stefan Mack killers. They gonna take a plea deal. They gonna snitch on Lil Durk, and he gonna be cooked. 3-4 days go by. That's exactly what happened. How long have I been telling y'all that POOH Shiesty dad was gonna mysteriously get a bond? He was gonna be the first one to mysteriously get released from jail. The one snitch on the case was just gonna somehow, some way be the one person the first person they got released from the feds.
Attorney for Northern Texas would announce 9 individuals, including well-known rappers, were federally charged with kidnapping and robbing at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested in one day, including Memphis rapper Lontrell Williams Jr., aka POOH Shiesty, his father Lontrell Williams Sr. So this is the dad right here.
Listen, y'all, YouTube and Meta might own media.
Saying your daddy a killer, but you ain't. You just like Bronny James.
Damn.
And then POOH Shiesty would also rap about how his dad was his first co-defendant. Well, his dad was also a rat the entire time. I don't know if POOH Shiesty knew about this. I mean, he has to know about it now.
He
know.
But
his dad is a stone cold, full-blown rat. But that doesn't mean he ain't a gangster, because according to this paperwork, during the hearing on April 3rd, 2026, the magistrate court acknowledged the defendant's criminal history, which included 2 homicides before the age of 6.
Oh, weirdo. That ain't gangster. That's stupid. This is why you see. One thing I learned from Lil Durk, from POOH Shiesty, King Von, everybody, folks. Everybody that we've ever seen that got famous for being a gangster, when I see their family, it make perfect sense. I mean, you got killers out here. They mama is encouraging them to catch more bodies. You got. Look at it. King Von dad was supposed to be a killer. He was a killer. They both got killed in their 20s. Lil Durk dad went to prison. He was one of the biggest gangsters in Chicago history. Went to prison for I don't know how long. Lil Durk on the way to prison for I don't know how long. POOH Shiesty, the biggest, dumbest crash dummy to ever exist in the rap industry ever. Look at his daddy. 2 homicides before the age of 16. Decades of weapon offenses. Drug trafficking, assault, and repeated probation violations. Where do you think they get the crash? It's passed down in their DNA. They not just crash dummies for no reason. This is why I tell y'all, these niggas, stop trying to be like these niggas. These niggas is the niggas with some retarded parents that taught them the same retarded shit they got taught, man. I'm trying to tell you. It make too much sense.
16.
Do your homework.
POOH Shiesty's dad caught 2 bodies before he was even an adult. The man is with it. The man is gangster. That does not mean he's not a rat. Decades.
See, we gotta stop saying gangster like that shit is cool though. Like that's the only thing I don't like. Y'all be saying gangster like he a gangster. He about it. He like that. No, he's an idiot. If he killed 2 people before he turned 16, he's an idiot. And you fast forward, he's 50-something years old, and he's still getting locked up, and his son getting locked up, and they
weapons offenses, drug trafficking, assaults, and repeated probation violations typically preclude release. Despite this acknowledgement, the court placed undue weight on the testimony of 4 character witnesses who described the defendant's purported community involvement and concluded that home incarceration was sufficient to protect the community. So they're trying to find a way to release POOH Shiesty's dad, even though dude is a historical smacker.
Now, how the fuck would you get released from the feds in a robbery kidnapping charge of Gucci Mane? With that background, if you ain't tell them nothing.
Feds are saying that the dad was instrumental in the planning and execution of the kidnapping and robbery. The defendant made multiple phone calls to the studio owner to book the recording studio to create the ruse that Gucci Mane and his son would make music together. Yeah. He transported the crash outs and he printed the coerced contract by going to a Staples in Frisco, Texas.
Hey, why do y'all keep? I've seen niggas act like this is not true. I've seen niggas in interviews act like this don't mean nothing. Like at approximately 1:50 before the offense, the defendant drove in a rented Buick to a Staples in Frisco, Texas, and entered the store alone. Surveillance footage captures the defendant walking directly to the copy printer, and a receipt confirms transaction occurred at 1:59 while the defendant was at near those printers. I've been seeing people in interviews, they try to act like he went to print the contract. Such a weak case. No, it's not that weak. It's not that weak when we can just go and see the cameras. And it's a paper trail, bro. He didn't write the contract with his hand. He had to have the contract on a Google Drive or something. If you ever been to Staples to print, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you have to have it on a Google Drive or have it somewhere, and then you go in there and transfer it. The feds can get the same document that he printed and see that, right? You know,
print out the contract they would force Gucci to sign.
Slow, I don't know.
He was also present when his son upped out the Draco that Big Dirty passed him. He reviewed the biggest paperwork after Gucci was crying and signed off on it. He left with property that was not brought in, like everything that they stole from the victims. He remained with the crash outs after the offense and having had advanced knowledge of his arrest. During transport following his arrest, the dad spontaneously admitted that he knew about FBI surveillance routes being run in the days leading up to the arrest and that he knew law enforcement was coming on the morning he was booked.
Yeah, he's a professional crash out.
His criminal career began in 1991 at age 14 with drug charges and an aggravated assault. Later that same year, the defendant was arrested for unlawful possession of a .45 while on a weekend pass from a youth facility. Months later, he was charged with first-degree murder after killing an individual on Beale Street in Memphis, which he pled down to voluntary manslaughter. At the time of his first homicide, he was only 15 years old. The defendant's commission of a homicide while on home release and court supervision. Despite receiving home release and supervision in '93, the defendant committed a second murder barely a month later, shooting his girlfriend while they...
So this is why, for everybody that's too crazy to understand, this is why MULA wishes jail on people. This is the reason right here. This is why I wish jail on people. If POOH SHIESTY was still in jail, he would have never robbed Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane still have his money. He would never got robbed. If his daddy would have stayed in jail, the first homicide, he was 15 years old. Okay? He got released on home release supervision in '93 before he turned 16. So this is barely a month later, probably like 31, 32 days later. He committed a second homicide. That nigga need to go to jail, man. He need to be in prison. He need to be somewhere where you could sit down with him and you could teach this young dumb motherfucker, hey, those older guys in the neighborhood, they're lying to you. You're gonna end up doing this and doing that. So let's get you some therapy. Let's get you some you know what I'm saying? Some help. Teach you how to actually be a member of society. This is why I wish jail on motherfuckers. He came back out barely a month later and killed somebody else. Obviously, he ain't got no mama or no daddy. And he was 15 in the 90s. It's very possible that his mama and daddy was on that shit.
Whereas he described it playing with a gun. By the time he was 16, he'd been involved in 2 deaths. So he went and killed somebody at 15 years old and was able to get a murder brought down to a voluntary manslaughter. And then he killed his girlfriend after playing with a gun.
They arrested me for a blunt I ain't lit yet, man. They arrested me for a blunt that I didn't even smoke yet. Come on.
Probation for the other murder. It's like father like son, because POOH SHIESTY apparently did this shit while on a federal release with an ankle monitor on and decided that was a good time to rob Gucci. In the years that followed, the defendant accumulated a staggering record of additional offenses, multiple evading arrests, repeated unlawful weapon possession charges involving 38 cal revolvers, 9mm handguns, stolen firearms, marijuana trafficking, listillos indicative of distribution, crack cocaine trafficking, a convicted felon in possession of a handgun resulting in 4 years custody, aggravated assault in 2001 when he pulled a handgun on a woman, then hit her and kicked her, causing a dislocated shoulder, large bumps on her forehead, and severe bruises. In 2002, he was again caught with a large amount of crack cocaine. In 2004, he was associated with a third homicide while on probation. Bro. His probation was revoked for an accessory after the fact connected to a third homicide in which the defendant's associate murdered a woman and the defendant subsequently used the victim's cell phone and credit cards. That is cold.
They killing women. They killing women. They beating women. They selling crack to our community. He said, what'd he say? He dislocated her shoulder. He put a gun on a woman, then hit and kicked her, causing a dislocated shoulder, large bumps on her forehead, and severe. You know how hard you gotta hit a motherfucker in the shoulder to dislocate that motherfucker? But I'm wrong when I wish jail on these people? Boy, y'all is dumb, stupid, and retarded, man. Somebody done brainwashed your ass so good to the fact where you think this person should be free. You think that I shouldn't wish jail on this person just because somebody else told you that. That's not what you think. That's not something you was sitting in the bed and you was like, I don't think it's right for anybody to wish jail on anybody. So you didn't think that. Some dumbass person told you and you believed them and you said, okay, you can't wish jail on nobody.
So while he was on probation, he killed his girlfriend. And while still on probation, his homie killed another girl. So he used her phone and then swiped her credit cards before she even turned cold.
Right.
Now, POOH Shiesty's dad was convicted in the Western District of Tennessee in 2010 for crack cocaine distribution and received a 70-month sentence.
How is
After
he
his
still
release,
out?
his supervised release was revoked and he received an additional 22 months. Upon this release, he was shortly charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, criminal attempt first-degree murder, aggravated assault and reckless endangerment. After his associates kicked in the door of a home and opened fire, shooting 3 individuals, one in the head, one in the leg, and one in the shoulder. Those charges were eventually dismissed. Damn, so he's involved with like 4 different murders.
5 murders. That's just the ones they caught him for. Now, how many people you think he actually killed and didn't get caught for? How many people you think he killed and did a drive-by and ain't nobody see nothing, nobody snitched, so he ain't even get questioned for that? If this is it, this is his rap sheet. How much times did he sell drugs, beat up women, pistol whip somebody, dislocate somebody's shoulder, kill somebody, attempt to kill somebody, shoot somebody and put them in a wheelchair? How many times did he do all that without getting caught if this is his rap sheet? How the fuck is this man in society? Like, y'all niggas be too lenient on these motherfuckers if you ask me. I know y'all be thinking them in Dubai they be too strict, but shit, I'd rather you be too strict than too lenient. This nigga should not be walking around in my neighborhood. I don't want. Why is this nigga walking around in my neighborhood, bro? If I'm probably just a regular old high school nigga, college boy, you know what I'm saying, trying to get through school in the neighborhood, why is my next door neighbor a 50-something-year-old nigga who's POOH Shiesty daddy, who then killed 5 people, beat the girls up, killed the girl, used the girl, did sell drugs, kidnapped, robbed, and then got older, got turned 50-something, and then robbed Gucci Mane? Why is this nigga still out? And then y'all gave him bail? What the fuck? You fucking all the way up, Mr. Police, man. You fucking all the way up.
Look into this, because the whole thing of him getting sentenced in 2010, that comes from a 2007 case. Now, this is the case from 2007. This plea agreement is from 2009. He was hit with a bunch of different counts, like crack cocaine, over 500 grams, a whole bunch of big boy distribution charges, right? And as we all know, the only way to get out of that is to what? Based on defendants' ongoing and anticipated future assistance to the government, it is contemplated that the government
anticipated future assistance
may recommend to the court a departure from the defendant's sentence pursuant to U.S. Sentencing Guidelines 5K1. This would be solely within the discretion of the government and is not part of the plea agreement. Substantial assistance is understood by both parties to require good faith during all phases of the cooperation period, including the defendant's provision of complete and truthful information, which assists in the investigation or prosecution of other individuals, and complete and truthful testimony. The defendant acknowledges that the government's determination of whether the defendant has cooperated fully, blah, 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 blah. Basically, he wasn't sentenced to 70 months initially. He was sentenced to more and got 2 different reductions based on how much he was cooperating with. And then part of his plea is to continue to cooperate in the future. So not only was this man a gangster, involved in 4 different deaths total from what we know.
Gangsta sound too cool, so that's why I gotta correct it every time. It's gangsta sound too cool. Gangsta sound too official. Gangsta sound too, damn it. Gangsta sound just too cool. I don't like that. Crash Dummy sounds a little bit more right. You feel me? Like Crash Dummy sound a little bit more like, yeah, you stupid. This little motherfucker here, like, you know what I'm saying? So I like Crash Dummy. Let's change the gangster word to Crash Dummy. CD. A lot of y'all too young to ever have used a CD. I'm here to tell you, this the new CD.
This man was also a stone cold rat, and the worst kind of rat, because he didn't just snitch and fucking change his life like most.
Right.
He snitched and then did another home invasion where someone got head tapped. He snitched and kept being a gangster. Stayed in the streets.
Kept being a
had POOH SHIESTY running the streets, looking up to him as a fucking role model. Now he's wrapped up in a case with his son.
I bet you.
And I mean, I talked to Vlad about this because I don't think there's any chance he's about to do any time.
Because here's the thing.
Fucking POOH SHIESTY's dad's already a cooperator.
Really?
POOH SHIESTY's dad's a rat. After the 100 dropped the paperwork, I validated that shit. POOH SHIESTY's dad went to the feds and got a 5K1 motion for agreeing to cooperate now and in the future on future cases.
Damn.
You think his father's gonna do it? Fuck no.
I ain't gonna lie. Is it weird? Why does 1090 Jake look like a fucking, I don't know if it's the hat. Why does he look like a different person when I see him? It's like when I see him on YouTube or I see him on Vlad or like Instagram or something. Why the fuck do he look like a different person? This thing got a twin?
Fuck
it's gonna be a Queso and Queso's dad 2.0.
Maybe it's the beard and shit. I don't know.
Nah, I thought I was just printing some shit. I didn't know my son was gonna pull that bitch out. I didn't know he was gonna do all that shit.
Yeah, that's what he
POOH SHIESTY's dad really ain't do nothing but stand there.
Right.
He ain't pull out a gun.
Well,
At least that's what they say.
But according to the paperwork, POOH SHIESTY put a gun to Gucci's head, made him sign, handed the contract to his dad, and his dad said, "Oh, it's missing a date." Gave it back to Gucci with the gun still brandished.
True.
And had him sign. You can't say, "I had nothing to do with it."
I had nothing to do with it.
No, he can say,
you're in the room when guns getting pulled out.
Your Honor, Gucci was under duress. I was under duress. I didn't know my son was gonna pull that big ass gun out.
Yeah, I was scared.
He can run it the same fucking way.
Yeah.
Literally the same way.
Because the actual robbers are the people who put, if his dad didn't steal nothing, because think about it, his dad didn't grab nobody Rolex, his dad didn't hold nobody hostage, his dad didn't pull out no gun, his dad ain't tell nobody, get on the floor, nigga, put your hands behind your back. He didn't really do nothing for real. So his dad can run that same game Jake's saying right here. I agree. His dad can say, man, I didn't know he was gonna pull out a gun. I was just as scared as everybody else. When POOH SHIESTY did that, I didn't know what was going on. I was just trying to get the king signs, and he ain't turned the gun on me. He threatened me before we got there.
Stop it. Get some help.
He told me if I ain't signed this shit before we got there, he was gonna shoot me too. I ain't know what to do, Your Honor. Shit, let me go home so I can visit my family.
He pulled a gun out.
But see, the difference between him and Queso is Queso dad really didn't know. Queso dad really didn't know. That's why I ain't really blame Queso dad. But POOH SHIESTY daddy? Oh, nigga, you got to. Oh, no. Absolutely not, nigga. You knew what was going on. And now, one time in this Fed story did I ever hear your daddy, because I'm not pulling no gun out in front of my motherfucking daddy. My daddy would have slapped the gun out my hand, slapped my teeth down my throat. Nigga, I don't like, man, listen. I got enough respect for my pops to, if I'm finna rob a nigga, I'm gonna act like I ain't gonna rob him until my pops leave, and then I'm gonna rob. If I'm gonna do that, you see what I'm saying? I think his dad knew what the fuck was going on. I don't think this ain't POOH SHIESTY first time pulling no gun out in front of his dad. This ain't POOH SHIESTY first time doing some gangster, some crash dummy shit in front of his dad. His dad is a crash dummy. The documents have proven that. You feel me? But I think he can still run that same play that Queso dad ran though. He'll be lying, but I think he can run it.
Shit ourselves. We didn't know he was gonna do that.
And that's exactly how I feel his defense is gonna be. Because literally, he didn't do shit.
Yeah, he didn't. He's not on paperwork doing nothing.
He's gonna have to cooperate on his son if he doesn't want to do a life fucking sentence.
Because he gonna do a life sentence because of his track record. If he don't cooperate, he finna go do a life sentence. And if he snitched once, what makes me think that he won't snitch again to take his ass home? If he snitched for 90 months in 2009, why wouldn't he snitch for life right now? Because I don't think that, remember, POOH SHIESTY dad is already like 50-some years old, 50, 60, somewhere around there. So 20, 30 years is life for him. And that's probably the minimum that these niggas gonna get in the feds. I don't think POOH SHIESTY dad is ready to walk down the rest of his life in prison. I don't think he's ready to do that. If he already snitched before, why not just go ahead, go out with a bang? Now, this might be the time he snitch and go home and actually kind of like change his life or whatever, but no, I think he gonna. I've been saying that since the beginning. He's gonna
be able to last a 30-year sentence.
Exactly.
And I mean, they're all facing a shitload of time anyway. But he's gonna cooperate against his son. I guarantee you, and especially after Queso's dad just publicly testified, the feds ain't like that. You're not gonna see cameras. It's not gonna be streamed on YouTube. You're not gonna see that shit with the feds.
Right.
He's gonna be able to snitch. No one's gonna see it. He's gonna come right back home like nothing ever happened.
They might steal the documents.
He's not gonna hold it down for POOH SHIESTY.
Hell, I don't think so either.
He's been a rat. His son crashed out. He's gonna look at himself like the victim. I didn't know you were gonna do that dumbass shit. And that's how he's gonna project it. I didn't know he was doing this. I didn't know he was doing that. He's gonna fully cooperate, fully testify, see how much time he can have knocked off his sentence. He's gonna tell the feds, look, I snitched before. If you send me there, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna send him to some cupcake shit, and he's gonna come home. I highly doubt he gets off completely like Queso's dad did, because then again, this is a federal case.
Yeah.
But that's exactly how I see this going. I don't see a rat making an honorable decision over a dishonorable event.
See, now it's one thing, like he said, it's one thing if you become a gangster, you go to jail, you snitch, you like, oh shit, I'm scared. I don't want to go to prison. I'm scared. Oh, hold on now. And then you come home and change your life. That's a completely different thing than you snitching and then coming right back to the streets, robbing, killing, shooting, kicking doors, selling drugs. And then you go back to snitching, then you a crazy, you a different type of nigga. I don't think it's nothing wrong with snitching, but after you snitch, you got to change your life. You can't get back on Instagram talking about how gangster you is. And I feel like that for a lot of people, even though they still do it, and y'all let them do it, but we not going to say no names because we don't talk about people like that anymore, you know? But I just don't, that's the type of shit I don't respect. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but a lot of people do that shit though. They get in that interrogation room, or they do some gangster happen, they get scared out their mind, and then they still want to goddamn it come play gangster and come be savage and all that type shit. And that, I don't rock with that at all. But it happens a lot. Shit happens a lot. A lot.
He's already lived dishonorably his whole fucking life. It's one thing you do some gangster shit with your boys and you're like, I'm not snitching, I'll take my time. That could be considered honorable in that lifestyle. But if you've been a rat almost your kid's entire fucking life,
you're
not gonna feel bad about snitching on him. You snitching on everybody. It doesn't matter. You made an agreement to cooperate on future cases. You knew you were gonna still figure some shit out to tell the feds. So that's what I'm banking on. If y'all want to set up a little parlay, a little whatever, Kelsey predictions, whatever. I'm gonna put my money that POOH SHIESTY's father is gonna cooperate
somehow
against POOH SHIESTY. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section.
I think Big 30 gonna do it too. When the going gets tough, every gangster will brat. Period. And it's not nothing new. It's not no new school shit. No, this has been going on since the beginning of the police and the beginning of gangsters. Hey, you want to go do 100 years or you want to go do 10? 10. Okay, tell me who robbed the bank on 14th Street, March 8th. Ray. All right, cool. We're gonna cooperate to a story. We're gonna make sure you're telling the truth. Give us the evidence. You get out. Okay. Like, it's not human nature, bro. I think it's unintelligent to even expect anything else from a human, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. It's